Hey, welcome to Heroes and Droids, your guide to movies and TV shows about superheroes, sci-fi, Disney in action, from Marvel to DC, from Star Wars, Star Trek, from James Bond to the Fast and the Furious. We'll review theatrical films, stop laughing, and streaming delights we all care about most.
you.
Oh man, this week we're reviewing Peacemaker episode 6, streaming now on HBOMax. Welcome.
We're getting.
I'm your host. Oh my God. I'm your host, Doc Rod. Joining me tonight are the crew, starting off with the SLATTMAN, the one and only Christopher Slattery. How you doing, sir?
Insert witty dialogue here.
Yes, absolutely. Oh God, let's all take a breather and breathe. All right. Also joining us is podcast return into Cosplay Queen, Vanessa. How you doing?
You know, Vanessa in Greek means butterfly. Just so you know that.
Really?
Yeah, very relevant to this series.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right. Also joining us, Comic Artists and Decades of Horror co-host, the one and only Chad Hamm. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank
He's
you.
ready. Crack.
His evil villain.
And last but never least, the award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Moore. How you doing, sir?
What's up? All my Peacemaker PCs.
Feces. That sounds a little like feces.
That's just
I'm having
a little.
I'm not having any of that. Take it.
I love how I prepare what I'm gonna say.
Oh,
Never.
No
you
preparation.
make me choke up. All right, so tonight we are going to review Peacemaker episode 6. We're going to give our first impression of it. That will be spoiler free. We will try, and then we'll get into a discussion about it, and that will be full of spoilers as we talk about all the nitty gritty, and then we'll dive into our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. And we hope, of course, that you enjoy not only this review, many others that we have on the site. If you're enjoying this, we hope you also enjoy the Book of Boba Fett, which we're reviewing as well. Yeah. All right.
Check it out.
Yeah. Let's get into this and find out what we thought. SLATTMAN, you, sir. Oh, wait. We got a card. We got a card, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the
not it.
wrong
Not the right
That's
card.
Here comes the train.
Psych.
Poor.
Those
Oh my
butterflies keep messing with our cards.
They do. That was definitely the butterfly's fault. All right,
I mean-
Peacemaker episode 6, Murn After Reading, aired February 3rd on HBO Max, written and directed by James Gunn. The cast includes, is not limited to, John Cena, Daniel Brooks, Freddie Stroma, Chudwookie Iwaju, Jennifer Holland, sorry, Chudwookie, Steve Agee, Patrick of the Robert Patrick variety, and Nutley. Although he wasn't in this one, I missed him. The synopsis is Murn reveals his deepest secret, that he does. Auggie is set free, that he is. And the botched arrest of Peacemaker sends alien Goff into an uninspected new host. Such as
So much better than Lucasfilm's synopsis.
yes, but not as thorough as last week because that was crazy. But let's get into our first impressions. SLATTMAN, lead us off, please. Lead the way, sir.
I just want to start off by saying, holy crap. Annie Chang, who plays Sophie, phenomenal performance in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal. I now see why James Gunn was just like, this actress was awesome. But yeah, this show just keeps getting better and better and better and better. I feel like with this one, the jokes are kind of taking a step back, but the story is getting so good and so interesting and so unique, but also familiar. Like, if that makes sense. I don't know. This series is just fun. This episode is just another fun moment in this series. It's very well directed. The music is awesome. There's some really great character moments too. Character development moments and just well acted moments between characters that don't really show a lot of emotion. So it's nice to see that. And I'm Yeah, I really like it, and I don't know if y'all saw the end credits,
I
but
didn't. Oh my God, I
talk
didn't.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
emotion.
Oh
Oh my
man.
gosh, that was insane. That was
I
insane.
gotta go back. I gotta go back. Damn you. Vanessa, what was your first impression of Peacemaker episode 6?
I think this is my first time on a Peacemaker episode, right? I haven't been able
Yes.
to make one until today. My impression of the whole show so far is not at all what I expected. I almost didn't even want to watch this show because I really just didn't care about Peacemaker. And then from episode 1, I was hooked because obviously James Gunn, he's such a
Mhm.
phenomenal writer and so great with characters. And Peacemaker has just like, I just love the story. I love the story of him having a dickhead dad, and that's the reason he is also a dickhead, but for different reasons. And I just, he makes you want to like him, even though you want to hate him. And this episode is kind of, it leans a lot more into that too, and into, like you were saying, his character development and the development of some of the other characters that he's around. And they talk a lot about team and family, and we see how a lot of that plays out in this episode. Some crazy stuff that James Gunn does, and I love to see it because he takes chances and he goes over the line, and he's quirky and he's funny, and it's awkward and grotesque, and he's able to combine all that stuff together and make something extraordinarily entertaining. And he and his casting directors just have phenomenal taste in who they choose to play these characters, because that we see again, I guess, what is he, the sheriff or the marshal? We'll call him the marshal on this end. And geez Louise, what a character. But I will finish by saying I stand vigilante. I can't help it, but I do. His crazy, no feelings, unattached, just psychoness is very appealing to me. He's probably my favorite character.
I miss the days when we go back. Yeah, that was great. Chad Hunter, what is your first impression of Peacemaker episode 6?
I loved it. It was another great episode. We got to see a little bit more of what's going on this week.
A lot of plot.
A lot of plot this week. We got maybe some more insight into Peacemaker's past a little bit. It was really interesting. I like how what they're doing with him. He's such an idiot and such a buffoon, but he, like Vanessa said earlier, he's still lovable though. You still love him and care about what happens to him. And yeah, vigilante. I love what a juxtaposition between him and two idiots. You know what I mean? The relationship that they have is just is great. It's great to watch every week and laugh at. So yeah, it's another great episode for me.
Christopher G. Moore, your first impression of Peacemaker episode 6.
Yeah, I love with what they're doing with the story. I mean, the Peacemaker, and I think how he's evolving as a character and how he's sort of his character arc, I think is very interesting because, I don't think you're going to be able to totally erase some of his asshat issues that he runs into. But at the same time, he's starting to sort of like figure out who he is instead of who his dad wanted him to be or what he thought he needed to be this hero. And at the same time, he's also wanted to find his own family unit and feeling still outside of that. So I think there's some really interesting moments in this. There's some really cool moments, some really sort of batshit crazy moments. I love this show to where it won't shy away from, language. It won't shy away from shock humor. It won't shy away from gore. It won't shy away even from just like some uncomfortable villains per se. Yeah. Wearing pillowcases, forms of pillowcases.
Oh, yeah, at least they had the hat.
Well, they're supposed to be with horns, but at the same time, yeah. Or even there's parts where James Gunn realizes he's not in Marvelville, and he's like, "Oh, we're just gonna have a naked woman." That's one thing.
Oh
So
yeah, like
yeah, I was like,
HBO
"Oh, okay."
baby.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they give him carte blanche to sort of like
Yeah.
tell these stories, and I never thought we would be in, and maybe Chad, you can agree with this. I've never thought I'd be in this world here where we see comic book stories told on this level. I think The Boys sort of gets away with a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
but see these sort of like diehard, crazy, over the top stuff that
Yeah.
you have all this language and shocking
Mhm.
racist stuff and all these other things, and still be entertaining. You know,
Yeah. Right.
I think as much as I like The Boys, I sometimes feel very uncomfortable watching it because some of the stuff I feel kind of icky and bothered by. This one, I feel icky at parts, but I still laugh at parts.
Mhm.
So it's at least that they kind of, I think James Gunn always does a good job of sort of that balance of being
Yeah.
able to tell,
Mhm.
because he's good with weird characters in general, and even sharing these characters that are just evil, idiots, but then he also puts them in their place too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I really love this show. I think you can tell James Gunn is sort of having fun with these characters, and these actors are in it. I mean, he's literally, his girlfriend's in it. But
James Gunn's girlfriend? Who's his girlfriend?
Harcourt.
What?
Oh,
That's his girlfriend. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, that's his girlfriend.
Okay, so let me ask you real quick.
he's
They call her hardcore, right? That's what they call her, or do they call her hardcourt? I thought they were calling her hardcore.
Harcourt is her name.
Because they go like by they go by like, I guess, do they all they have
Yeah,
like
I
names they
think
go
I
by?
thought I heard that too, where they said
I thought they
it's
were calling her hardcore,
hardcore
which
on the
makes
phone or
sense.
something.
They might call her
Yeah.
that, yeah. I mean, I think her character definitely has that sort of. She's kind of evolved. I mean, all these
Badass.
characters are sort of like evolving a little
Yeah.
bit, because she's always been sort of closed off to people, and now she's kind of opening up to even Peacemaker, because I think they all feel like they're just part of this unit. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, I don't know. I love all these different characters. I love the way it's going places I wasn't really expecting.
Mhm.
The whole butterfly angle, oh crap, what are they going to
Mhm.
do? Or even how this episode ends without being spoilerish. I was like, oh
Mhm.
crap, what are they going to do in the next
Mhm.
episode? So, so, and then there's the moments, there's just moments where a person plays a piano and it's like,
Oh my
it's
God.
like it's a very somber, sweet moment.
Mhm.
Spoilers.
So yeah, I love this. Yeah, I think that this is one of my favorite TV shows on TV right now. And I think I've always loved James Gunn's sense of humor. I think I have a similar sensibility with some of the stuff I do, but I wish I could write on his level when it comes to, because there's pieces of dialogue and character moments where he goes a little bit longer than some people would,
Mhm.
but it feels more natural and more fun when he does, even though I feel like there's also some improvised stuff that happens on this show, which they prove sometimes in the end credits. But I think there's another great episode for this series so far.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll just say that there's two things that made me realize this was a great episode. One was John Cena's multiple angry faces, and
Oh my
and,
gosh.
and seeing Eagly in action, baby.
Eagly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is. I didn't know Chris Slatman there that I wanted this character this bad. And Chad, I didn't know
Me
I would
neither.
like Peacemaker of all characters.
Well, I don't think none of us
great.
did.
It's great.
And
Yeah.
I've heard that from so many different people. There are people like, oh, well, he's like my least favorite character
Yeah.
in the Suicide Squad. And I can say
Yeah.
that. He felt like a cookie cutter type, over the top character, this sort of like
Yeah.
Captain America wannabe who's more, just an asshole. And so I think this.
Yeah, and then how he ends that movie, especially.
Yeah, but then you realize he's been through a lot of trauma himself. He's
Yeah.
trying to work out who he is, and I think that's what we're sort of finding as this story
Yeah.
goes along, and it gets more interesting. with
It's
each
been done
episode.
in comics a lot, where a B character, C, D characters have gone in for like a revival. It all depends on the writing.
Mhm.
It doesn't depend as much on the character as the person writing that character and making them interesting and making them feel new and interesting again. And I think that's exactly what's happened here.
Well,
Because I did not care about Peacemaker in the comics at all.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
ever.
the beauty of James Gunn, right? To take
Yeah,
like the
right.
least
Right.
liked, least most hated
Mhm.
character, and then make him somebody you actually do care about and want to see get
He
the help,
got
I guess he needs.
yeah, he got Howard the Duck back on the big screen
well,
and made you want to see more
And
Howard the Duck.
nobody complained. Yeah.
No, no.
well, but and I think this is what proves to me how great a storyteller James Gunn is that we have this revelation. We're already in Spoilerville, so let me
We're in
just say this.
Spoilerville.
Murn, we find out Murn is one of the butterfly people. And then you find out his issues with being inside this person, having those memories. And then you think back to when he had that conversation with Johnny Economos, where he's talking about, like, I'm not used to emoting or being this certain way. You find out the reasoning behind that is because he's had a butterfly in his head this whole time.
Mhm.
So that adds so much more details to previous scenes. I think that's just brilliant to me. I mean, when you have that sort of like forethought to like, okay, this is why he's acting this way, because
Mhm.
we have those moments later on. It's like when you take on a new body, everybody smiles a different way, so you have to figure that out.
Creepy.
Which that whole hallway scene just makes it even kind of funny.
Oh
and
my
creepy
God,
at the
oh
same
my God.
time.
That hallway scene was
Yeah.
amazing.
But yeah, I don't know. There's I just
It
love
was,
what
yeah.
James Gunn's doing with this series.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. I'm thoroughly impressed at this point. I did not think I'd be watching all the way through episode 6 at all, but these characters are just so compelling to watch, and the way that he's telling the story. And I really, he's getting to a point now. I feel like in this episode in particular, we have a clear delineation between who is good and who is bad, right?
Mhm.
And there's only a few.
That made me Murn. I'm still not sold.
Well,
on
there's
that.
a few blurred lines, right? We're like Adebayo is still trying to figure out: do I even trust my mom? Like, is she the person I should be listening to or not? While Hardcore is over here saying, like, don't trust her. I don't know if she's your mom, but don't trust her. So it's just such an interesting dynamic, and he does such a good job writing these ensemble kind of cast. Because granted, it is a Peacemaker-led show, but it feels like an ensemble kind of show as opposed to being just about one person in particular.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
and I'm really interested to see like what's gonna happen next, because this episode was freaking crazy. First of all, with his dad getting out, right? I didn't
Mhm.
expect that, because I thought they already had that on lock with that, like that was done. And then everything
Yeah.
that we see, I have none of these characters. Like Chad, you probably have the most experience with these characters out of all of us from knowing about them in the comics, but I don't know anything about any of these characters that we've seen in the Suicide Squad in the last one or now in this show. And you do stuff like put him at a piano and play Guns N' Roses, and you got me,
Yeah.
man. You got
Motley
me.
Crue.
Motley
Motley
Crue.
Crue, yeah,
Yeah.
Motley Crue.
That was I was like, what's he gonna play? What's he gonna play? And they started that. And I'm like,
Oh,
of course, that's what he's gonna play.
perfect choice.
Mhm.
Also, that was actually John Cena playing that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. James Gunn confirmed that on Twitter that he actually played it, and now you can actually go listen to it on Spotify as part of their
Oh,
playlist.
wonderful, fun.
Yeah,
They
because
did.
there's also a video online on, if you go to James Gunn's Twitter, where he shows behind the scenes of him practicing it. Him and Jennifer Holland, his girlfriend or whatever, they both posted videos behind the scenes of that.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, we did get the ending of Spider-Man: Homecoming. We didn't know we needed without the smash cut. What the?
Oh.
Wait, what are you talking about?
when Aunt May comes in and says, "What the?" and they cut.
They cut it right when she says that.
They don't cut it on HBO Max.
Mm-mm.
No, it's HBO.
They don't cut a lot of
man.
things on HBO.
You get
Max.
boobies and you get F-bombs.
And you get more than that,
And
Yeah.
a lot
depending
more.
on the episode.
Well, when you have lyrics like, "So what are they gonna do next?" I'm gonna get someone to give me a blowjob, and then I'm gonna kill my son. Wow, this is we're not
That's exactly what he did. Yeah.
But watching that, so that scene where the dragon is going through his whole thing, and then juxtaposed against, oh my God, my mind just drew a blank. Who
The
The cops, yeah, the butterflies and the cops and everything. The
Yes,
music, the
yes.
monster song playing, like
Yeah.
I just every time I keep saying it, but James Gunn just has an eye and an ear for that sort of thing, to tie those two stories in together like that, and with that music, you know,
Yeah.
it makes such an impact without having to really. They didn't really say much at all. You're just watching them do what they're doing, and it's really incredible.
A whole lot of implications going on.
A whole lot
yeah.
of implications, and I know I'm rambling on, but I really liked this. I loved seeing the little spaceships when she summoned all the
Yeah,
other
that was
butterflies
cool,
and all the
yeah.
other spaceships came down. They came
Yeah.
out of the little. I loved that so much.
And we finally got a good close up of the face.
Oh, we did. It was
Butterflies.
when they're
Yeah.
screaming, it's so weird.
you were going to say something, Christopher, before we.
Oh well, I think one of the cool things when we talk about, like, you know, James Gunn's always been pretty good about music and incorporating that into his projects. But I mean, he's with this, because it's all been focused on like pop metal for the most part. He's done a really great job of that, you know, because whether it's just the use of songs during certain scenes, it kind of like help those specific scenes, even the stuff he plays in the end credits, or even like, you know, probably one of the Easter eggs from this episode is they're talking about they need to go to Coverland Ranch. And I don't know if you know who David Coverdale is, but he's the lead singer of Whitesnake. And so, and actually, James Gunn confirmed that today on Twitter. One of my friends, Cliff Blazinski, asked him, it's like, hey, was that a reference to David Coverdale? It's like, yeah, because actually back when he was doing, was it Guardians of the Galaxy, I think 2, yeah, he posted a tweet saying that I'm getting ready to shoot. It's like, and in the poetic words of David Coverdale, here we go again. So it's funny how even just references to things in his script, he's incorporating some of the music, is informing that as well.
Yeah, I love
Absolutely.
it. Loved all the music.
We should wrap things up, give our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. I'm going to start off first just to get it out of the way. I loved it. 5.
Are we also doing our favorite laugh out loud moment like we have been doing?
Yeah, I love that.
We will. This one doesn't have as many. It's a little bit more tempered, but let's do it. Yeah. 5. I loved it. Give me more. Favorite laugh out loud moment, I think, was when the escape, either watching Eagly do his shit or the
he was brutal.
He was, or the cop coming in, you know, the
sheriff or whatever.
The sheriff, yeah, and doing the, you know, execution style, and it was just the reaction. It was meant to be dramatic, and it was, but it was also funny. And I'll take that whole escape as my favorite scene as well. So let's continue on. SLATTMAN, you're up next.
This episode is fantastic. I'm gonna give this a 5. It's for what it lacks in things such as the like humor that we've seen in the last like couple episodes. It really picks up the story and really picks up character development, and holy crap, I can't wait to see where it goes next, and I'm so excited. I just want to shout out, holy crap, Annie Chang. Such an amazing transformation in her character.
Nice physical, yeah,
physical, and just like complete change and just emotion too. It was so well done. Just I'm mesmerized by that performance. However, my favorite scene and my favorite laugh out loud moment kind of have something to do with her performance. My favorite laugh out loud moment is the freaking like classroom.
Oh my god, we didn't forget to talk about that. Yeah.
I was
Oh my
I can see right through you.
It's like, and he's giving them
That was
all
so
the nicknames he gives.
I think you're my dad.
This might be my dad. Okay, time to go.
But my favorite scene is when all the butterflies come into the police station and just the way that's
Ooh,
shot.
no, it is.
Yeah.
Yes. It is a great scene.
Yeah.
Vanessa, you're up next. Your
Me?
final thoughts, your score, yeah, and favorite scene, and laugh out loud moment, and all that jazz.
5 for sure. I'm loving it. I only listen to jizz music, by the way. I don't listen to jazz.
Star Wars reference, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know.
Star Wars jazz.
Star Wars jazz.
Has nothing to do with the tidy whities. I'm telling you right.
John Cena's maybe. 5 for sure. I freaking loved this. Serious favorite scene, John Cena playing the piano. Because what a freaking callback to Economos being like, oh yeah, piano, that's just what we need in a secret whatever. And then he turns around and plays Home Sweet Home, which because that is his home now, because he no longer has his trailer or anything. It's just like awesome. My favorite laugh out loud scene is Eagly playing with that little plastic ring as he's trying to call him Eagly. He's yelling at him and he's playing with that little plastic ring on the roof of the trailer.
like a rubber band throwing it around.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was dying. And I'll take one more because I don't think anyone will take this, but it's when Vigilante's like, I thought we were going to get wasted, and he's doing this and he falls out of the tree. And that's how the catalyst to everything else goes. Oh my gosh. So between Eagly and Vigilante, they might be my favorite.
Such I don't even know what to call him. Chancellor, your final thoughts, your score and favorite scene.
Score's 5.
Okay.
I love the way it like you guys said earlier, that it's going less on the comedy and more towards the end of the plot line and getting these characters where they need to be. So I thought it was definitely a 5. My favorite laugh out loud moment was when they finally reach the car after they escape, and Eagly jumps into the front seat, and they're trying to he's like getting the back seat, and Eagly's like arguing with him or whatever, and he just throws him in the back seat, and then him and Vigilante just the back and forth banter that it's amazing that out of the two idiots, John Cena is the one that's really getting annoyed with Vigilante.
I know.
So Vigilante must really be stupid, but that made me laugh so hard. My favorite scene is Chris's laugh out loud moment, the classroom, and all the nicknames that he had for the kids, Skinny Arms, Canadian Tuxedo, all of those kind of.
Rubik's Cube Champion 2025.
Yes, and he called the kid from the Mad magazine. What was his name? The one that's wearing
Gender swapped Alfred.
Gender swapped Alfred Newman. I was on my stomach was hurting. I was laughing so hard at that stuff. But that was my favorite. Yeah, I love where this show's going. Still
in the gutter. All right, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Christopher Jim, final thoughts, your score, your favorite scene.
Well, I'm going to use most of my final thoughts to just go through quickly some of the little tidbits that I noticed.
Oh, very nice.
Easter eggs and references. We get the mention of actually him fighting Kite Man, which we got a newspaper reference to it previously.
Yes.
But he gives a story. We also get him mentioning Flash and Wonder Woman saying I fucked Wonder Woman. Batman.
I said effed.
Yeah, I said F. Yeah, and of course we get a lot of pop culture references. Of course, we got the Alfred E. Newman Mad magazine. We also get White Urkel, which is a reference to Family Matters.
Mm-hmm.
We also get a reference to Pitch Black. We get a reference
of all
to the
things.
Birthing scene from Aliens. We get a reference to E.T.
Mm-hmm.
We get a reference to the song from Close Encounters. We get a reference to the Amigos. We get a reference to an art film called Unseen Andalou, a 1929 film that was made by Buñuel and co-directed by Salvador Dali that involved cutting a cow's eye for his scene, which I watched when I took a film class in school. So I thought that was kind of weird. We got a reference to Porky's and Porky's 2. Also, Vigilante's ringtone is Barbie Girl, which if you watch that scene, the butterfly covers her ears when the ringtone happens. So go back and watch that. It's funny. Also, we get a reference to the Hamburglar from McDonald's.
Yeah, we did.
And I disagree with you
Ginger
guys.
fellow.
I still feel there's a lot of funny parts in here, even though they're not conventionally funny. I'm just
Oh
saying.
yeah.
Because I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
when
yeah.
he's like, he does the
Well,
hat thing.
It's just not as absurd. I mean, they were going.
I thought, I don't know.
It's still funny.
I just thought I thought the scene where the naked girl puts on the pillowcase made me laugh because it's like just weird things. Let's see. Leota and the wife, they talk about going back to Gotham. So there's a Gotham.
I know. Let's go to
Yeah,
Gotham.
yeah.
No, don't do that.
This may be
Don't
a
do
possible
that.
reference, but the part where Peacemaker is like, why aren't you guys telling me what's the secret or whatever? Behind him is a poster for a movie. I don't think this is a real movie. It's called Privateer, the Admiral's Seaman. And but actually there was an anti-hero called the Privateer who was briefly in a Suicide Squad story, and also was one of the enemies of Eclipse, which was the villain that was on the dartboard in his house. Also, there's a mention of Blackheart Ruby, which actually may be a reference to the actor Stephen Blackheart, who actually voiced the gorilla in the previous episode. And he's actually worked with he's also worked with James Gunn on previous films like Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Also, if you look at the in the school classroom, on the word of the day is moistly, which I don't know why
I saw
would be
that.
the word of the day for kids.
Moistly.
And also, this is just an interesting tidbit. In 2020, James Gunn tweeted, "What is the proper spelling of asshat? Because I'm writing a script using that word." It was spelled ASSHAT without a dash between the two. And we find out he was writing the script for this episode where he's like, I'm offended by asshat. So anyway, there's a few things. This episode gets a 5 out of 5 for me. As for funny moment, one of my favorite parts of this series has been the non-conventional ways humor has happened. And that has been around how Peacemaker's dad always says these racist things to Sophie's character, and he says it's really bad, sort of acting like he's speaking in Chinese, and she says, well, you should have checked your Google Translate because you just said a donkey shat on your head or something like that.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard during that scene because some of my favorite moments is when she's been trying to insult him back, and then her sidekick says something stupid.
See ya.
Just ruined that
Wouldn't
moment.
want to be ya.
Right.
It's like, what? You just ruined that insult.
Look,
I
I know
just-
I messed it up. Okay.
And so those moments are my favorite moments. As for favorite scene, this is probably an extension of the butterfly attack, but I'll say when they're all walking down the hallway at the end,
Oh my god!
and there's a call back to them all trying to smile, and they smile all creepily. So it's both funny and creepy at the same time. I love
Yeah.
that moment, because also another reference, which we mentioned previously, is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Because when at the
Yes.
beginning of that scene when she screams, it's very much the 1970s. I don't know if they did it in the previous one, but 1970s, especially when they scream. But yeah, that's my favorite scene, is when they're walking down the hallway.
Yeah.
That was,
That's
and it was,
great.
it felt like a, like the end of a montage where the heroes go walking out. Except in this case, it's all the butterflies. This is a great episode, and I'm so happy we're covering this. And we have 2 episodes to go. That's it. Just 2 more episodes, and we'll all be sad after that, I think.
I will
We'll be
A little bit.
sad, but at the same time, I'm going to be very happy we just got it.
Well, that's true.
Yes.
That's true. And yeah, I can't wait. 2 more weeks of this. It's going to be incredible. Looking forward to it. All right, Vanessa, Chris, Christopher, and of course, Chad. Thank you for joining me. This is a lot of fun. And oh, yay.
Yay.
Yay,
Yay.
you too.
Yay.
Indeed.
Yay.
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 Here, here, young man.
We should all just smile creepily.
Let's say goodnight and smile creepily.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.